Hello, welcome to another episode of Our Perspective. I'm your host, Sister Charity, and joining me is my co-host, John Sales.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
For those of you who are new to our channel, we are brothers and sisters. We have different perspectives on a variety of topics. And today, our perspective might be, pretty close. I'm not sure. But I'm going to turn it over to John because John has some things that were pressing on his heart that he wants to give his perspective on. So what's up?
Yeah, as everybody knows, we keep getting these police violence incidents where they take it too far. And with this latest one, they handled it right away. I mean, people got fired, no pay, fired. I don't even got to tell you the nationality of these people, but I'm gonna. They look like me. The bad thing about it is they had it coming because what they did was atrocious. But they ain't the only ones that have done something like this, and they're not the only ones doing stuff like this. Their Caucasian counterparts or other people of other nationalities are doing this thing, and they get to go home, get paid, and they investigate. But this was so egregious that no way we could allow 5 black dudes to go home and get paid. You could just serve them up. It's easy. We serve them up. We were going to do a show yesterday. That's when we normally do our shows on Sunday and Saturday. I'm just saying that for the sake of saying I'm glad we did. Because I look at the news today and find out that there was a Caucasian dude who tased him. And I saw it, but it didn't click in my hand that the dude had white hands and he was giving orders, barking out orders, telling this man what he was going to do to him. He ain't been charged yet. I mean, we can harp on racism till we turn it blue in the face, but you keep doing the obvious. And I just would like your perspective on this, and then we can go further into detail on, what we would like to see happening going forward.
Okay, so let me, for those who may not know exactly what we're talking about what happened in Memphis 2023, if you, watching this later, where there were, as far as we know, 5 African-American Black police officers that pulled over this Black young man in his 20s and beat him to death. There is video footage showing what happened. And I don't know if all 5, put their hands on him or whatever the case was, but they immediately were arrested. Unlike the ones who have done similar things that are of Caucasian persuasion were not arrested right away, but all 5 of these Black police officers were arrested right away, which is good that they were arrested right away. But we need to be consistent and across the board. This is my perspective. We need to be consistent and across the board because there's no big eyes, little U's, and what applies for one applies for everybody. And so I understand what you're saying, John, that, when is it going to end? I was taken back because you beat somebody to death that looked like you. A lot of times these kind of things happen when you don't look like the police officer, excuse me. But this happened with police officers that looked just like the man. What was going on in their mind and their spirit, to do something like that?
Here's another thing. I'm glad you said that. If he was to put up the motorist picture with the 5 officers, he could have been an officer. The way his vocabulary was as he was speaking,
wow,
let me know he wasn't no street dude. You understand me? And I'm sorry for the burglary outfit I got on. Yeah, I did a burglary later. No, I didn't do a burglary. I'm cleaning up. But I know we can't make light of this situation, but we have to have some light in all this darkness.
Mm.
My problem with this thing is the white officer, the white human, because I don't want to, the other human who is not of African descent hasn't been charged yet. He was there. He didn't render aid. He didn't stop them. He's guilty. Plain and simple.
Let me ask something.
Like that.
Let me ask something, because to be quite honest with you, I could not bear looking at another, what is it, modern day lynching. I couldn't bear to watch another person die on camera. You know, I just couldn't bear to watch it. So I don't really know exactly what happened. All I know is the media said they arrested 5 police officers. I don't know about the guy that you're talking about, the Caucasian that was tasing and kind of barking orders. But this is a travesty that this has happened. And I don't know, did you see the video?
Of course I did. It is my duty as an American citizen to watch and be knowledgeable about the things that are going on, because guess what? I got a 6-year-old Black male son.
Right.
Very concerned.
You have a couple of Black male sons.
I got a new one. Them guys can handle themselves. But I'm in charge of a new one that's come 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hospice with him. You know, I got to service this cat. I got to make sure he's safe. Them other ones have guns and everything. They can handle themselves. You understand me? It's them. But I'm raising up another one. And I got to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll tell you something. I watched the video, and I'm going to tell you, just like with the other case, it's always underlying issues. These cops want to turn up on somebody, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow. Let me ask you something on the video, you know, for those who may not have seen the video. So it showed all 5 cops, Black cops, beating this young man.
No, dear. It's 6 of these mugs.
Well, I'm just talking about the Black ones right now.
It could be 7, because somebody was tasing his legs, and he had that, I want to say country sheriff accent, you know, yep, now boy, and whoop, whoop. I'm not gonna do my impression of white people. I get frustrated. I'm human, but I want a solution. I just don't want to be barking and hollering at the moon about some stuff. And I'm tired of them putting it on TV because of what happened in the past of America's past, where they sold hot dogs and souvenirs at lynchings of Black people. And you put it on TV with commercials and everything, so it's still entertainment for some people. I don't know.
Making money. People making money. For those of you who may not have seen this, they actually broadcast, I'm talking about the news channels, broadcasted that at 7 p.m., they're going to show a video of what actually happened. And at 7 p.m., the businesses, you know, buying ads and making money around that because they knew it was going to get a lot of viewership. That's sad. I know that's not where we're going, but that happened, and that's sad.
Can I say that's capitalism? That don't bother me.
Well,
but what does bother me is that when you're young, you can get an insurance policy for the low.
Mm-hmm.
If we was insured, believe me, insurance companies would stop that kind of crap out the gate. Because they sell stuff to pay people. They sell stuff in case something happens.
Wow. So that's an excellent point. And somebody who has knowledge of the insurance business.
They don't want to investigate that. And whoever did it is going to have hell on their hands. If you make somebody pay out $1 million policy because you decided to turn up on somebody.
Right. So yeah, I think that could be a solution for those, you know, when your child is young. I know this is really crazy to say it's a solution,
It's
but
not.
if they're gonna keep killing us, you know, our race, they're gonna keep killing people. Let's just say people, you know, period.
Human who
Then
don't have connections in high places. But I guarantee you, if they had known this brother, they would have liked him. I don't even know him, but knowing that he was a photographer, a skateboarder, you know, I had a skateboard back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I did a little tic-tac. Okay, I'm gonna leave that out. If they would have known this brother, they would have liked him. He spoke well. He didn't speak like somebody who was recklessly driving. He loved his mother and his stepfather. He had the perfect situation to excel in. And they always pick the lambs. They always seem to pick the lambs, not somebody that got 4 murders on their jacket. You know, they don't want to deal with him. And they don't want to deal with nobody with an AR-15, because you've seen what happened at the school. They pick people who are defenseless. And they on them just like any other gang who preys upon the weak, because they don't want that smoke. They prey on, okay, I know this ain't important either, but I do want to mention something. These police forces need to stop letting these dudes eat all these damn donuts, because they was out of breath, can't breathe. That bad health will make bad decisions. And if you putting bad stuff in your body and you walking around trying to protect and serve, they not protecting and serve. They were bored and wanted to get some action, because that was a task force predicated on keeping poor people in line. You don't necessarily have to be poor to live in the vicinity of other poor people.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
He could have just been visiting. He could have been visiting family. You know, you never know.
Let me tell you this. He was within walking distance of his home. When he took off running, he was in fight or flight. He hadn't done anything, and these guys was coming out with everything, tasing and beating. And it's like the Jump Out Boys used to be here, North Las Vegas. We called them the Jump Out Boys. And when you say enough stuff about a people and you make up bad stuff about them, you get to do whatever you want to them. You get to police them any way you see fit.
Yeah.
So whoever is around is a casualty of that policy.
Yeah.
And this is why I cannot not vote, even though I think it's rigged, you know, because they both be in there playing good cop, bad cop. But I would just like to give our, you know, we give condolences because that's the right thing to do, but that's not enough anymore, because I could be next.
Anybody could
happen to you. That's the problem. These are humans, and we need to stop saying black people, because guess what? I heard 2 Caucasians got killed over nothing, and we didn't harp on that, and we didn't go defend that. They were poor, and police, where are we getting these people from? Because they are hateful. They don't have any God in them or nothing in them. They stood around talking while this dude got beat up, and he was in bad shape. It's so prevalent that when the help came, they didn't have any concern either. It used to be that the medics would come and tell the officer, hey man, that's enough, back up. You know, they know they gotta work with these guys, and they're scared of them because everybody know they probably on steroids or what. I don't know what these guys were on, but they didn't even know this dude to do such a vicious thing to him like that.
And he didn't pass away right away. So he was in the hospital on life support for a period.
Yeah, if you saw the pictures, which you didn't, that's your right to not, because you're a mother. You know, you might not never had a son, but you're a mother, and we need to get away from this black and white stuff. It's about where you are in life. It's about your station. It's about where you live. It's about, you know what I'm saying? Just like we was talking last week about the church. It's about where you are in life.
You know, the reality is that, unfortunately, and if you ask different police departments, they do have a quota in certain neighborhoods to go out and try to find somebody that's committing a crime and putting a quota on that. Maybe it's nobody doing anything in that particular community, but I was told by a police officer, a couple, that they were given quotas in certain areas. And these were Black police officers patrolling predominantly Black areas in Las Vegas. This is in Las Vegas, so I'm only talking about that. So yeah, I'm sure other police stations have the same thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know the city. I can't say that because I live in that city, so I'm trying to keep it cool. I don't mind paying the light bill if you catch me dirty. First of all, you got to catch me dirty. I have not driven without insurance in so long. I think I've always had it, but you know, that's neither here nor there. If you handle your business won't handle you. But giving somebody parking tickets and pulling them over and giving them a ticket so that you can build a city hall nice and plush, or you can keep your budget going and the higher ups get bonuses, that ain't what's bothering me. What's bothering me is, why are cops so mad? They got a guy like he had did something to one of their sisters, like they've been looking for him their whole life, and he had a trail of bodies behind him. Like, to be that mad at somebody I don't know, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And you just did some of the ruthless stuff on camp. You have a body cam. What are you saying to the rest of the world? We're untouchable? Could you be saying?
Right.
Well, you might be untouchable and you might not have got, but you will reap what you sow. And when you plant that harvest, when the harvest time comes in, guess what you gonna get? These brothers brought disgrace to their whole family. You risk your kids' life because you want to turn up, and you can't do it to Caucasian men, or you can't go and do it to the rich, because guess what? You're going to get what you just got, and you don't even got to kill them. You can just talk to them rude. You understand me? It's one rule for one class of people. It's a whole nother rule for another class of people. And we're going to use classism instead of racism, because we all race human.
Okay, that'll work. That'll work. But the bottom line is something has to be done, and we do need to come together. If you want to say class, you know, some kind of way we need to come together and put an end to this. And I don't know what to do. All I know is my prayers go out to the family, you know, that had to deal with this and see all of this over and over, played over and over on TV. My heart goes out to the family, and my prayers go out to the family. But we definitely need solutions to this problem.
They wanted it on TV because it's an Emmett Till thing. We want you to see what they did to our son. I will cry because I love my son. I don't know what type of terrorism I'm gonna do if something should happen or fall upon him.
We pray not. We pray not.
Hey, I'm just saying, because I have to have that mindset. And I just would ask all other human beings within the sound of my voice, they want us not to be together. So they tell you, I'm not good as you. You're better than me. What is your station in life? Because if you live with where I'm living at, guess what? We the same. We the same. We're human. We just want our kids to get a good education.
Right.
We want people not to steal our stuff when we go out and work hard for it. You know what I'm saying? And we want the police not to kill us because they had a bad moment or a bad day, or their wife is a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. We haven't. God for. Look, this is really where I get a little passionate about, because I saw Rodney King.
Right.
I'm in my 50s, and I was born in 65, where anybody that stood up got took out. So we don't have nobody gonna stand up for it, and anybody who stands up for it can be corrupted, because this is capitalism. We live in a capitalist society. You got to work within that system to change that system. You can start with insurance. That way you ain't on the side of the road with a boot talking about, hey, little JJ got woo, woo, woo. Yeah. And if you in crime and all that stuff, do it for your family. If you get took out, your family get to be rich. And then they get to buy insurance.
Absolutely. It's just
all day.
It is. That's a subject for another show, which I do believe we need to have. We need to have a show on the importance of having
it probably won't
and assurance. But we'll say that for another show. What were you saying, John?
I said it probably won't air because the narrative is to keep us so confused that any truth can't come out. The lies fly higher than the truth do because the lies help your mind ease up a bit. There's no such thing as racism. There isn't institutional racism. There isn't, but they saying race to keep you. There is classism.
Well, yeah, maybe we need to have a show on that and coupled with the importance of taking care of our children, both where we communicate with them, where we set them up, in terms for success. And if we need to add insurance, I don't know why people are not getting insurance on their kids, but definitely need to do that. So it's not as difficult, huh?
Period. Everyone should be insured. That if you got melanin is not fashionable for some reason, even though anybody from this planet should have melanin if they really from this planet. Excuse me, because I know I keep going on different subjects or whatever, but it's all going to fall in line to the same thing. And there is racism. And for anybody out here that say, oh, he's crazy, ain't no racism, classism. Just think about it. Why is there racism? Because the upper class don't want you coming for them because they stealing. And they're going to continue to steal. But guess what? If you work within the system, instead of bashing the system, because the system ain't going nowhere, there's ways to work around it. Our people have figured out a way out of no way every day. I make lemonade every day, sis. Every day. And it's always some asshole waiting around the corner. They might be white, they might be Mexican, they might be any nationality because they come in all shapes and sizes. So we have to be wary of all. Now we know that Black people don't like us either. Black cops think they one of them until they do something and find out they ain't.
It's sad. It's a sad commentary. Trust me, it is sad.
I'm glad we got this show. I can just get this off my chest. If nobody see it, I've self-medicated.
Amen. Amen. And I'm glad actually you brought this to the forefront. I love your perspective and a lot of what you said. I'm sure our listeners would take into account. But if we don't come together and understand that it's the enemy's goal to divide and conquer, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say it like this: those that look like us are dividing and conquering within the whole, within our own race. I know you're saying it's not race, but whatever it is, because we just need to come together and work together. And it's to me, it's a spirit in the earth, a spirit of death, a spirit of, murder, chaos, witchcraft, and all of that is in the earth. And people are being led to do some awful things. And like I think I heard you say before that it was demonic. This is some crazy stuff.
It is
going on,
demonic.
but yeah. So I think
these are choices that people make because of the world we live in. They think that this person we just beat up, nobody cares about him. Nobody loves him.
Right. If he look a certain way or, you
His mother,
know, he act a certain way.
yeah. But hey, they didn't even say, hey, who are you? Let's get to talk to this dude. Let's find out who he is
Right,
before we up so we don't get in trouble. They don't even like we don't gotta do that. We could just beat up and do whatever we want to anyone. That's why I'm speaking up because I'm not a bad person. I don't want to go out and get suspected of being a bad person because I wear burglary gear. I'm not a burglar. I just think it's fashionable to me. You know what I'm saying? This is
right.
how I, and because I look a certain way, I give off a, you know, I'm not a burglar while I got the uniform on. That's a joke I heard from Dave Chappelle, but we
Okay,
just,
first of all, for those who are watching, it's snowing outside. He
is
has
it?
on a what is that called?
It's a beanie.
Yeah, beanie and a sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're joking about the skull cap, but or the burglary stuff or whatever. But the
This
bottom line is we should be able
in the
to.
day when I used to do stuff. It's black, and yeah, I wasn't always a Christian. I
Right,
wasn't. I paid my debts though. I know that. I'm not a saint. I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm observant and I own my stuff. If I've done something, I'm not ashamed of it because I'm a better person and God forgave me. So I gotta forgive myself.
right,
You know,
right.
and so I never apologized for my past. I would only apologize for what I'm doing in the present. And I pray to be a better person. I
Well,
pray for the world every day.
well, let me just say this because we're running out of time.
Mhm.
I think one of the solutions really is we need to get back to the basics in terms of raising, educating our kids, not letting anybody else do it, but really sitting down, talking to our kids, loving on our kids, praying for our kids, praying for protection, and that they would get the wisdom and the discernment to know how to act in certain situations so that they can be successful and victorious when the enemy tries to come and attack them. So that's the only solution I know right now is prayer, asking God to cover our children and to keep them and protect them and to come against any spirit of demonic influence to take their hands off of our children so that our children can have the rights that they're entitled to you know, like you said, get education, be successful, have other, you know, offsprings and children, and, you know, have a nice job where they can, you know, give to society, you know, pay for being here, whatever the case is. But if we keep killing people, you know, yeah, I
I
don't
know
know.
I know that we're almost out of time. I just want to say I love you. I appreciate you doing this show with me, and I just really respect you a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're very dear to me. With that being said, I also have a plug. I would like our audience to go watch Dr. Richie Indisputable and support that man's show because he gives the news that the news don't give. You know,
Okay.
don't make money, they ain't showing it.
Okay,
If it's
say his name slower.
His name is Dr. Richie, and the show is Indisputable on TYT.
Okay.
The network is getting big, it's getting huge. He probably don't need me to advertise for him, but I'm gonna tell you something. The brother is fair. He's not just on one side or another, and he's well read. So when he says something, he has read about it, he has facts. He doesn't just pull stuff out of a hat and have a thing that he knows is going to tick people off. Now, the show is basically negative. Like I said, it'll have you on tens, but watch responsibly. You know what I'm saying? You need to
Right.
know. You can't hide in a shell. And as far as kids go, we all are a tribe of humans. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't just worry about ours, we have to worry about the thing as a whole. So the only
Right.
way we
Right.
make it, this is not going anywhere.
Okay.
But we can live with COVID. We can live with racism. We can live with certain stuff, but murder, I refuse to live with.
Mm,
Okay? Murder is wrong. It's in the Bible.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so with that, I know we're out of time, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this with a plug of my own. If you're interested in receiving some inspirational word from God, go to BibleGrub.com and check out my Bible studies. So it's BibleGrub.com. Thank you, John. I enjoyed all of you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.